Hello? Are we set to roll? Are we set to roll? Thank you very much. We're going to start with Dr. Dewey. Sir, we're going to talk to us for 10-15 minutes. Tell us why you want to be the president of Nigeria. Tell us what you have for the pharmaceutical and healthcare sector. Confuse and convince us to vote NDP. And before you start, sir, you have an opportunity to introduce one or two members of your team. So, over to you, sir.
Mr. President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, emeritus presidents and leaders of the profession, thank you for the opportunity to speak before you, and I wish you a good conference, and I wish Nigeria a better country. I have with me quite a large delegation, so I'll be modest given the time available. I will introduce a son of the soil and a minister of the people, who is the Director General of our campaign, Mr. Solomon Dalon. Solomon Santa Dalon. I also have with me Senator Ojuku Uba, a senator from Anambra State, who is in our campaign. I have Chief Patrick Anetua, Pastor Ade Alabi, and the engine room of our campaign, Mr. Godwin Osigome. Well, let me thank you, my colleagues, for inviting me here. I call you my colleagues because I have a confession to make. I am one of those quacks that you worry about. I am the chairman of the Pharmaceutical company, and I've spent 30 years in investment in the industry. So if you see your colleagues in Nigeria, they will know me, people like Dr. Kule, and so many of them. I have participated in sponsorship of a lot of research, both in Nigeria, in India, in America, and some places. And I have proprietary rights over a number of medical products. But my keen interest, personally, is in pharmaceutics, because I've always loved organic medicine. And I also like competitive edge. I believe that if Nigeria will do well to compete in the world, to have a leapfrog over the big pharma majors, it will be in pharmaceutics. Because we have the biodiversity, we have the native knowledge, and we have the method now for the systematization of the protocols to develop our native medicine and create the kind of way to preserve them and to regulate their dispensation. I believe that if we do that, we will go a long way in managing the wellness of our people. And to be your mate today, the first time I'll be your mate as a politician. I've always been your mate as an investor and as a collaborator. So I hope that you can take that spirit that you use, scientific spirit, to develop solutions to problems. And that attitude is what we adopt today. I believe that the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria is a bellwether for what the country looks like. When I first grew up as a pharmacist, I lived with my grandmother, and she used to call them chemists. I don't know why she used to call them chemists. But if anybody was sick, anything happened, she would say, go to the chemist there. and we'll go there, and another thing you will do for me before I leave here today, because I was at IFE, and I was very close to Professor Lamikora, who was Professor of Pharmacy, and I used to moonlight along the corridor to listen to your classes, but I couldn't find out which aspect of your training prepares you for very terrible handwriting, which doctors write. So I believe that it's an aspect of pharmaceutical dispensation, where you try to keep the patient in the dark. I've always been encouraged by the notion that however bad it is, when you go to pharmacies, they go to the right place and get to the right medicine. So I think Nigerian politics. Nigerian politics today, if you study it, is at best very much like the handwriting of the doctor. We know what is wrong, but we know that something is wrong. And the way I've looked at it is that people can also handle poverty. You pharmacists will be the first to know, because you know the element of society by the presentation that people do. What people around you present is what determines the kind of education you give to them. And there is no secret about the life, the health of a country that you can keep away from pharmacists. Because they will know that people are coming and presenting with more and more of this. What my discussion with you be two parts. The general one, which is macro, then I will narrow down to specific. But everything I said in the introduction, hoping that you will ask questions. The first thing going on in the country is this, that the country is always in constant negotiation. So you cannot sit down, you cannot be stable. You cannot make investments. You cannot be in one place or the other. You as pharmacists know that you cannot set up a pharmaceutical concern, of which I've set up many, without asking for allocation. Whether you want to do research, the regulatory regime for doing research, for recognizing your proprietary rights, for doing research and development, from doing clinical trials, you make many years of investment. So you need a stable environment. That is, the country has to be secure. Then the business environment has to be protected. And regimes have to have policies that are stable, so that your investment don't go to waste. And you will know, because the majority of pharmaceutical research don't lead to profit. But you have to keep doing it. And that is how we should approach development in Nigeria. So the first thing we will guarantee you is stability. Your neighborhood will be safe. There will be no riots, no arrest, no banditry, no kidnapping. So you will be able to set up concerns from pharmaceutical research to production, even to dispensation, where you have your pharmacies across. Number two, we will not subject the profession to the tyranny of the public service. I know the role played by one of your pioneers, Chief Adeluyi, when he briefly retired when he was Minister of Health. Within that short time, there was clarity of thought. The idea of rivalry, professional rivalry in the industry, was put aside, and targets were set. And the way in which he did a lot of reform in NAFDAC, which is perhaps the last reform ever done by the Nigerian government in managing this aspect of food and drug administration, shows to you that if we approach our health from the point of view of outcome, not from the point of view of supremacy, we will be able to find solutions to problems for our country. Second point is that we need to keep the economy stable, because a lot of the components for our health, which will reflect also in our medicine, has foreign trade component to it. It is almost impossible to develop drugs, develop a number of drugs, including cyanide and the proprietary of cyanide, which is used for sickle cell management. And I know that to do a simple thing like that, you are as vulnerable to the economy as any other person who is in business. So what I would say is that our government will take care of poverty. And to take care of poverty, you need to do 5 things. First, you need to know that the revenue coming to the country has to preserve the people of that country. That was what made me to become a whistleblower or a crime reporter, to alert the whole country that 80% of the crude oil produced in this country is being stolen. And I made that noise for about 6 months before the government acknowledged and said yes, they are beginning to find the pipeline now. But even I checked, as I yesterday, they are still stealing it. So a lot of the money people have used to build infrastructure is gone. So we will deal with that decisively. Same thing with the stealing of our solid minerals. People in Plateau here will be witnesses to that. Same thing in Zamfara, Osun State, Benue, and all of that. So basically, from the public finance point of view, we'll put some accountability, and you'll see revenue coming, and many of the problems will go. Second thing we will do is that we need to give nutritional balance to our people. And as health commissioners, you know that food is medicine and medicine is food. And the nutrition of the people, the aggregate condition of people's nutrition, has a role to play. That's why no pharmacist will give you any medicine without telling you the relationship of food. They will say, drink it before food, swallow it after food. So you know that food is very important, and we need to remove that food poverty of our people. Then housing. Housing is very important to health. Housing is important to stability. Then we deal with general issue of accessing health care. I'm sure many of you give medicines away. When somebody comes with their daughter or baby or son and says, this is what the doctor prescribed, but I can't afford to pay for it. And you know that lives are at stake. Even though you are in business, you are moved many times to say, take the medicine, pay me later or pay me whatever. So we'll create a healthcare system that allows you to be able to get your money without having to do charity that you don't want to do. The fifth component is that we need to give education to our people. Education is what divides you from your cousins who are bricklayers, carpenters, and whatever. My friend was telling me, he introduced one of you to me and said, he was my classmate in secondary school, but he decided to study pharmacy, I decided to study law. So we have barristers alone, have the pharmacists. Education is the reason why we are all gathered here. And a country that does not want to invest in education does not want long-term health and well-being of its people. We will deal with that. Now, let me now address the issues that are particular to the health sector. In Nigeria today, the health sector is a concurrent thing. Every level of government is allowed to do health care. Second, if you are local government, state or federal. Not only that, the public sector and the private sector are allowed to do health care. So what I will do for the public sector is as follows: 5 policies. 1, I will ensure that public hospitals, including public dispensaries, are well stocked and they are up to date. That is number 1. Number 2, I will ensure that professionals, when they finish from school, the first point of call before they go into private practice is a strong public health sector, so that you will spend a number of years using government money to do government research, to do facilities, before you go out to major on your own. The best healthcare people should be retained by the government. Thirdly, we will stabilize our currency. I'm not saying I'll give you $1 to $1. No, I'm saying that for planning purposes, if you have 500 naira to the dollar in year 1, you have 500 naira to the dollar in year 7. You have a sticky currency that you can plan, because pharmacy is a science, it's a vocation, it's a profession, it's an employment, it's also a business. So if you are able to understand the complexity of that, you'll be able to run a government. The last thing, which I will do before I step down, is that we should have a system for the retention of our manpower in this country. And the only way to retain manpower is that people who are in the professions should be automatic members of the middle class. And those who work harder or who have special skill should be in the upper middle class. Which means that inflation should not destroy your income. You should be able to live comfortably. And there is an international peer-to-peer review. A pharmacist in Nigeria should not live like a slave to a pharmacist in England or a pharmacist in America. Same thing with doctors and other professionals. So we will create a stable environment and we will not discriminate against any profession in the medical delivery system. We will not believe in the superiority of one profession over the other. We will ensure that at every junction where you demand healthcare for our people, you get the respect, you get the cooperation, and we will do a lot of reforms. Because what I have noticed as a practitioner in the field, business side of it, is that when you come into the business of pharmaceutical generally, those who are in government are interested in criminalizing you, collecting your money, over-regulation, misregulation, and low support. We will reverse that to see that the government becomes a partner in the healthcare delivery system. Thank you very much.
Please, another round of applause for him. Somebody seated by my side said that this man really did his homework before coming here. And it's very obvious. Because a lot of things he said were connected to the pharmaceutical sector. So please, another round of applause for him. So next, we're going to have some form of activism. Please make welcome the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore. Please remember the ground rules.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in the House. Thank you, President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, who graduated from Obafemi University in Ife. He said he was sorry I did not attend the university. I'm sorry you did not attend the most cosmopolitan university in the world, the University of Lagos. I also want to thank all the former presidents present. We are glad to see you, sir. We've done this for 49 years, attending every conference of this powerful organization. You have done better than Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria has attended that many independent days. These days we don't even celebrate our independence anymore. We are meeting at a crucial time in the life of this country because we are discussing healthcare. And why is it crucial? We are meeting at a time the president of the country has run away from his country because there is no healthcare. Please, let's take this very serious because we are meeting possibly president of this country in the future. And I'll be one of the presidents when I win who will assure you that any healthcare problem that Nigerian doctors and pharmacists cannot take care of, that problem better kill me. That is my promise to you today. I lived in the US for 20 years. It doesn't matter how sick the US president is. If they can't find a doctor that can treat him in the US, they'll bury him. But the case has been opposite for us. It's also crucial for you to understand that some other presidential candidates who should be here today are not here. Particularly the ones that need your help. Yes. They are here. I'm serious. We all don't need your help, no doubt, but some people need your help more than the others. I don't want to mention names, but most of people are getting their prescriptions filled every day, and they need pharmacists, and they should have been here. They're not here. And I also want to commend you, please, I want to commend you for doing a new man's job in this country. Pharmacists in Nigeria are taking over the primary healthcare sector. You are everything rolled into one, and this is not a joke. If someone is sick, they probably trust pharmacists these days, and they trust anybody. As somebody mentioned, that pharmacists are the most trusted people. I think they're also very clairvoyant. I will make a revelation here today. Please, don't be upset with me. When I heard about condom and I wanted to buy it took me 5 times going in and out of a pharmacist's job. The man called me and said, I know what you want. I said, how did you know? He said, people like you are the ones who come in and out. They wrapped it in a brown bag, gave it to me, I paid, and we left. Since then, he became the most trusted person that I met. So your role in society is very powerful. Some pharmacists have to supply or fill prescriptions. Some have to pray for people. Some have to do what the traditional medicine people do. Some even have to go out of their ways to get some medicine for you that makes you feel well, because sometimes people are not sick, but they have a mental feeling that they are sick. Pharmacists also understand how to take care of people like that. In fact, you guys have a medicine that doesn't work. It has no chemical in it. What do you call it? Huh? Placebo. You prescribe it for people who are not sick, who think they are sick. Right? That is why your job is so important in our society. And why I decided to come here today. I know most of you must have heard that I had a brother who was 49 years old, almost 50, and he went back to read pharmacy because he wanted to become a pharmacist. He was killed a year and a half ago. On his way back from University, he was going to Benin. And I promise, as part of his members, that I will be here today, so that you know that even though he's not alive, his spirit is here with us. I also want to mention that we can stand in front of you and make huge promises, but one thing we must all admit is that Nigeria has failed us. Your president was saying here that over 6,000 pharmacists have left since, I think, the end of COVID crisis. Some 8,000 doctors have left. We can't count how many nurses have left. We must also thank those of you who have decided to stay back. Yes. Because some of you are not only pharmacists, some of you are university lecturers. You have not been paid for 8 months and you are still here. We must thank you. I met a professor who was doing protocol work today. He was helping us to sit down in the hotel room inside my head and saying, this professor has changed his profession. Since they have paid them in 8 months, they are not doing protocol. It's a joke, Professor. So, one thing all this lead us to will be something that was attributed to a guy named Charles Maurice Talleyrand. He's a French diplomat. When Napoleon abandoned or abdicated his role, and the Bourbon dynasty was returned to France, he said to them, you have learned nothing and forgotten nothing. He was referring to Nigeria, even though he wasn't talking about Nigeria. That regardless of what we have gone through in the healthcare sector, our leaders are so wicked, useless, I'm sorry to say this, that they refuse to take care of healthcare, the healthcare sector, which is their most important need. This country has had a president die in office. For 5 months, our president was brain dead in Saudi Arabia. He did not announce to the country. You would think that the next presidents who are coming, who of course know that they are not too well, who at least build hospitals in this country, where in case of emergency, they can be attended to. But as you know, they have learned nothing and have forgotten nothing. You would think that political parties, in selecting candidates, will at least be sure that the ones they are giving us are not going to spend most of the time in hospitals abroad, by making sure that they put pressure on the candidates before to build hospitals, pay healthcare professionals very well. They will never do that because they have learned nothing and forgotten nothing. You would think that Nigeria, or Nigerians too, will pay attention to these issues by ensuring that when they vote for people, even when they are not sick, at least have the knowledge and consciousness of the need for health care in the country. But as you know, they have learned nothing and forgotten nothing. We will even think that those other candidates, I don't want to mention their name, will be here today to discuss with pharmacists, learn from them, hear from them. But as you know, they have learned nothing and forgotten nothing. You would think that Nigeria would think about governance in the healthcare sector. But guess who is the Minister of State for Health? A lawyer. Are we going to have a pharmacist become the Minister of Justice? No. It is because Nigeria has learned nothing and forgotten nothing. You would think that by now we will have a national health policy upgraded since 2016. It was never done. Even the PCN Act that was recently signed by Buhari, he's doing it because probably somebody is trying to please somebody. Because they have not put governance structures in place to show that they have any respect for that particular law that was signed by the president. You would also think that Nigeria by now will have more than 0.07 pharmacists to 1,000 people. This cannot be said to be a slip. It's a criminal decision by our leaders because they have no respect for our population. Out of 177 countries, in the world, Nigeria is 144 in terms of healthcare performance today. We have nothing that could be called healthcare, honestly. If not for you, seated here, some doctors who are left, who are still left here with us, most of you who are here with us are also filling your paperwork to leave anyways. It just haven't come true. But we thank you regardless until your paperwork is approved. Stay with us. And you will think that we will have serious decision in care in terms of healthcare financing. Nigeria is only spending 1% of its budget on healthcare. We are supposed to be doing 15%. That is the starting point. But I have said all this, I must also say that we need to upgrade, and you hear this all the time, our healthcare, primary healthcare, secondary healthcare, and tertiary healthcare centers. We are not doing that, and there is no plan in place to do it. And I know my time is running out, but I'm standing in front of you today, making this promise that when, because it's not a matter of if, we are taking a decision today according to the president. Anybody that did not come here today is not going to win the election. president of the PSN was talking about pounded yam the other time. I think he will be on my side because his wife is from Ondo State. And you know what they say about us? Ondo State people are stubborn. So we will stubbornly revive the health sector. We will stubbornly make sure that we are well paid. And those who are not employed are employed to work both in the public sector and the revived private sector. And that you too can be invited to the next organized private sector event that we are having. I discovered through a study I did yesterday that there are 128 million Nigerians with bank accounts. Only 768,000 of them have up to 500,000 naira in their accounts. That is 0.6% of account holders. And trust me, I'm a presidential candidate. I don't have 500,000 naira in my account. I'm talking to you now. And most of you don't have 500,000 naira in your account, even as pharmacists. That is the truth. Because if you start at level 14 in the public civil service, probably you are getting a deposit of 120,000 or 140,000 naira in your account. By the time you pay your rent, transportation, nothing is left. That is the reality you are faced. So you are faced with poverty in the midst of trying to help other people. I know, as I've been told, that time is up. But I want to round up by saying that Nigeria is sick. And I will send you prescriptions to fix Nigeria. Please, listen to me. Thank you very much.